All right, so we've got some wonderful music this evening. Boy Torch is Joe Fenech on vocals and Edmond Kairouz on vocals and guitars.
Good evening, folks. Lovely to be with you all. This is Edmond, I'm Joe. Let's start with a song called Country is the White Man's Blues. Country is the white man's blues. Country is the white man's blues. 'Cause we all hurt and we all bleed and we all paid our dues. Country is the white man's blues. That outlaw William Cyrus sure suffered for his art, then begged us all to never break his achy, breaky heart. Whoa, country is the white man's blues. Country is the white man's blues. Now don't forget old Tim McGraw, who wears that black straw hat, got barbecue stains on a white t-shirt, sure knows where it's at. Whoa, country is the white man's blues. The white man's blues. Oh, bow down to Shania, our modern day Mark Twain. Nothing would impress her much, but she sure made it rain. Whoa, country is the white man's blues. 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 Thank you. All right, here's another story. Most rock and rollers of my era grew up on Little Richard, loved Little Richard. If you look at Bob Dylan, he says he wanted to join Little Richard's band. Springsteen loves him, the Beatles loved him. It's a very famous story of Bob in Sydney back in 1957 during the height of his career. He was on a boat in Sydney Harbour. He was having doubts about his music life. And legend has it that he looked up into the sky and he saw something flash through the sky, which was supposedly the Sputnik. He saw that as a sign from God, took off all his rings, threw them into Sydney Harbour, gave up rock and roll. He did come back years later, but this is called Little Richard's Gold. Back in 1957, over here in my hometown, on a boat in Sydney Harbour, rock and roll had lost its crown. It's a story known world over, and once again it must be told. The day the waters opened up and swallowed Little Richard's gold. They said he was the architect, they said he was the king. He inspired all the Beatles to get up and do their thing. One night as he was playing, his blood slowly turned cold. As the Sputnik burned right through the sky, he got up and left the show. Goodbye, Long Tall Sally. Goodbye to Lucille. Goodbye, Tutti Frutti. I want something that's real. Goodbye to Miss Claudia and Short Fat Fanny too. I gave my soul to Jesus, rock and roll and I'm through. Edmond Kairouz, everybody. He pulled off all these golden rings and threw them to the waves. He told his band it's over because he wanted to be saved. So they flew home 10 days early and then accrued discovery. The plane they should have been on crashed into the open sea. Goodbye, long-told Sally. Goodbye to Lucille. Goodbye, Tutti Frutti. I want something that's real. Goodbye to Miss Claudie. Short, fat Fenech too. I gave my soul to Jesus. Rock and roll and I through. Goodbye, long-told Sally. Goodbye to Lucille. Goodbye to Miss Claudie. I want something that's real. Goodbye to Miss Claudie. Short, fat Fenech too. I gave my soul to Jesus. Rock and roll and all through. Still the king of rock and roll, Little Richard.
Thanks, Boy Torch. It's awesome. I felt like I was in the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. It's like, especially in this like setting and those harmonies, it was just like, it was great. The theme of the fundraising event is local stories. While I've lived around this kind of part of the world, South Sydney, for a lot of my life, actually, these local stories are local to Yorkshire, West Yorkshire in England, where I lived for 4 years. So this song is called the Linthwaite Houdini, and it was inspired by a local story. But I mean, one thing about living in a village, like I'd never lived in a village before. I always lived in the city, and but you hear these like sort of mythologized stories that get passed around that are kind of fantastic and weird. This one story was about a guy who buried himself alive at a kind of a local fair, and it's the kind of story like it sounded like it might have happened in the 16th century, but it happened in 2016. And when he lived to tell the tale, but it didn't go particularly well. So this is dedicated to him, the Linthwaite Houdini. He'd been planning all for 6 months. The publicity had all been sent out. I told him it's not too late to stop it. He lay under a blanket to demonstrate the air pockets. Yeah, he tried to escape, but he couldn't escape. He practiced with pillows down in the basement. The crowd stopped their cheers, started to pray. A mechanical shovel pulled him out of his grave. Yeah, it pulled him unconscious out of his grave. Oh, the big day was finally here. Down on the green, a carnival atmosphere. He said, I can see it so clearly. Tomorrow's headlines, the Linthwaite Houdini. Yeah, he tried to escape, but he couldn't escape. He'd been playing it out in his head like a tape. Parents grabbed their children and turned them away. Pulled him out of his grave, yeah, pulled him unconscious out of his grave. tried to escape, but he couldn't escape. Practiced with pillows down in the basement. The crowd stopped their cheers and started to pray. A mechanical shovel pulled him out of his grave. Yeah, pulled him unconscious out of his grave. Oh, a reporter from the Examiner asked, "Why do you do it? There must be a reason." He answered with rare wisdom, "Everybody's got something they want to escape from." Thanks. Thank you. This is kind of a seasonal song, a spring song, not exactly a Christmas song, but a spring song, so Southern Hemisphere appropriate. I get so happy when I think of you and all the little things I'd like to do tonight. When it gets dark, take a little walk down to the park, and we'll have a little drink, and we'll have a little talk, and then we'll see, and then we'll see, and then we'll see. I got that spring feeling springing up me, yeah. I got that spring feeling now. Sometimes I sit out the front of my house, watching all the traffic going past. A van with its windows down, two women wearing headscarves smile and laugh. And I'm in love with the world, yeah, I'm in love with the world. I'm in love with this ordinary world. I got that spring feeling springing up me, yeah. I got that spring feeling now. Sometimes I wake at 3 a.m. with thoughts of all the things I should have done. But I'm making up for lost time, I'm making up for lost time, making up for lost time, lost time, lost time. I got that spring feeling springing up me, yeah. I got that spring feeling now. All the Christmas decorations are already up at the family restaurant, and I love this place, and I love the lunch hour, and I wouldn't be anywhere else now for quiz. And I'm glad I'm not dead, yeah, I'm glad I'm not dead. I'm glad that I'm not dead yet. I got that spring